So I want to point out to the comic fandom that may be watching this what you did in 2 issues. You did a recap of her history on like the first 2 or 3 pages, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have this reestablishing throwbacks to her prior history with her parents coming in, and then we have right, and have history there, dating back to the Avengers, and then she goes off, and then you have the second issue. We make statements about you bring in the Holostone, just throw back to another reference. You've got Doctor Strange, you've got Spider-Man, homage to Annual 16, where she was introduced.
Yep.
I mean, we see that.
Thank you.
We see these Easter eggs. But then we get to the last page. I literally, after I read that book, immediately went online and said, this photon number 2, the last page goes boom. No spoiler. It goes boom. Because here's what we established. We know Monica Rambeau can go faster than light. Mm-hmm. But as you said, this is a character that is cosmic level power, right?
Yeah.
She goes back in time. We then set up a Flashpoint type storyline. We then, just as a sort of after the fact, just mention blase, she teleported the Avengers. Like there's no.
Like,
am I the only one reading this? Did anyone realize she just made Monica Rambeau
minor flex,
Yes.
And then she's like, "Oh, her husband's here, and it's Jericho Drum." Wait, what? Now you're throwing back to your Marvel Divas run.
Yes.
And I'm like, she did all that in 2 issues. I'm like, usually Hickman.
Paul, I need you in my life. This is really good for my ego, I gotta say.
They do the same thing, but they do it in like 2 years. Right? You
Yeah.
did it in 2 issues.
Yes.
So like, I gotta give, one of the big things about the blackcomiclords, one of the things that's important to us is not just giving shine to these characters that don't get enough shine, but it's also giving shine to creators like yourself who don't get their flowers. So every time I have an opportunity to give flowers to creators like you that are brilliant and don't get nearly as many accolades as you should, is to do that. And I wanted to show that I recognize, because I know it takes research and knowledge to put all those Easter eggs and tie that history all together. And I just wanted, because I don't know if you often hear this, but the fans recognize it. Real fans recognize it. And just wanted to let you know that, appreciate that.
Thank you, Paul. Can I, I'm also trying not to cry. Thank you for saying that. And that means so much to me. It really does. And I want to say you don't even know, but I feel like you do know. And it is... We live in a world where Black people, people of color, women, whatever you do, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be a plumber. All of us have had the experience of being in spaces where we are trying really hard. And often, if we're keeping it super funky, clearly and objectively killing the game.
Yeah.
And where the people around us make it their business to remind us that we don't belong. They make it their business to delegitimize our presence, to say, you're only here because, right? Well, we all know why, right? And I don't care if you're in comics or anything else, every Black person has had that comment directed at them some type of way, right? Every one of you has had that comment directed at you in some type of way. And either in a situation where you knew you were killing it, where you're like, I'm objectively nicer than all of you, or you were like, actually, yeah, I am learning. I am new to this. And maybe if you mentored me or supported me or gave me training or gave me an opportunity or gave me an experience, I would have a chance to show you that I deserve to be here, right? The same way you got your chance to show that you deserve to be here. Because we're not always twice as good, right? We should get to be able to be learners, to be new at things, to be imperfect. So it means a lot to me because I have tried really hard not to let my time as a comics writer be defined by those voices, and instead to be defined by the word you use, which is the real fans, right? And it's tough, bro. It's tough because the other people think that they're the real fans, right?
Yeah, right.
And they will let you know. And it just means a lot for me to hear you say that. And it also means a lot to hear the deep cut stuff, because sometimes it's like we talk to folks that are, sometimes I'm like, man, I hope somebody sees this. I hope somebody gets this. So you really have given me a profound gift. I really appreciate you for saying that. And the other thing, to keep it, since we're basically family now we're an hour and 40 minutes in, I often say this to other Black comics writers that I talk to, on the regular. We don't always have the privilege of having space. We don't always have the privilege of people assuming the best, right? So I'm going to take Hickman as an example because you mentioned him, and because we can look at, what I have been calling Hoxpox, but which, House of X, Power of 10, right? Like everything that he's done is so incredible and so amazing, and also required a lot of faith. And it required a lot of people, from editors to shops to readers, to be like, I trust that this is gonna work out. Like, this joint is wild. I actually don't know what's going on. It's multiple timelines. It's confusing. And I gotta check the reading order at the end. I'm on the last page, like, okay, let me make sure that I get to read the next, and some of that is because he's Hickman, right? Like, he has proven with the level of his writing that I'm gonna give it a shot, right? Even if I'm confused, I'm gonna give it a shot. And everybody believes like this is gonna work out. Nobody reads those first issues and says, Jonathan Hickman sucks. I'm confused. I don't get this, right? Everybody involved gives him that faith. And that's because he's earned that over the course of an amazing career. I want for creators of color to have the space and time to develop that kind of trust with readers. And we often do not get that space and time, right? Because it's like, well, that didn't sell. Well, that wasn't, I don't know, right? And I want to have space as a writer to be weird. I want to try weird stuff. I want to do weird and confusing things that will pay off, that you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe, I'm so happy I stuck with that, because, right? And just to hear you say that you were willing to go into it with that, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get weirder.
Yes.
I was like, this is a cosmic story. I have 5 issues. We need to be weird. It's gonna get
I got some questions on that.
Okay. Anyway, I'll stop this emotional speech. But the moral of the story is, I appreciate you, and really what I hope for is that that all these different creators get the space and the time to go there, and that sometimes we don't. But thank you from the bottom of my heart.
No, thank you.
And